Since I've reached 50 hours of playtime in Gigantic Rampage Edition, I feel like it's a good time to make a tier list to give some people an idea whether some champions are good and they should buy, and some others maybe they should keep their tickets and go for somebody else. This tier list will be on how good the people are, not how fun they are to play. So Aisling in this tier, quickly, I think that she's fast, has decent amount of stamina, and as long as you put your Viking out, she basically already has done her part. You just put the Viking out, you Q, you get the buffs. It just does everything for you basically. You really don't have to do much. Then we have Beckett. Beckett is decent. Again, her best thing is the mobility, and it shows in her stats. She has a decent amount of damage. The best thing about her is shoot your rocket launcher 3 times, and instead of reloading, you can just swing. You can change weapons into the pistols. Shoot. Instead of reloading, change again. Like that's kind of fun. You never kind of have to reload. You can always be switching in between weapons, and that's a good way. And again, her mobility, her jetpack's pretty good. She is very squishy, has barely any health, and kind of lackluster, honestly. I am going to put her in B tier. Moving on to Charnok. Now, Charnok is one of those characters that I've heard he's bad. That's what I've heard in the community. I think he's pretty good. I played him a couple times. Again, you'll notice that sometimes I have low levels. I've played a couple of custom with some friends. Played multiple customs, I've played some training. I tested a lot of things in a training, so I've played these characters even if they're at level 1. So where he shines is his damage. His mobility is where he lacks, I would say. His defense as well, but it seems like a lot of characters have little health, but not a lot of characters have this low mobility. Easy A tier. Then we have Ezren Gal. His concept is cool. The whole soul thing is, that's cool, but he has decent offense and defense, and if you play him right, he probably has a lot of potential, but the problem is you really have to play him like extremely well to do anything. That's most of the case, not going to happen. Just based on how good he is, I'm going to have to go for an C. I mean, it sucks, bro, but it is what it is. He sucks. Griselda? Griselda? Dude, who the fuck knows? Initially, when I saw her, broken. I was like, who the fuck is that granny? Let me play her. When I played her, I did fuck all. So I realized the turrets don't have a lot of health, and you need to place them in the back line to make sure they're protected, but they still are close enough to do the effect. She's also the buggiest character I've noticed. There's a problem with her portals. Like when she goes in the ground, sometimes you won't go in the ground. Sometimes it's invisible. You come out, you can't see your character. There's multiple issues that I've heard about with this character. Yeah, she's the buggiest character, so you have to lose points for that when you do an ability and it doesn't work based off of... Now, I will say she's the only character I've noticed a bug with. That said, I think she's not bad. I will put her... Yeah, she's B tier. I don't know. I was really looking for like... Initially, I was thinking she's A tier, but then when I'm going to think who's in A tier and who's in B tier, I cannot put her with A tier. HK206. Now, these stats feel a little wrong to me. I feel like he has more offense than defense. Is not that great. That's how I feel. Not that great. I feel it's kind of fucked up to put him in D tier. Like, he's not F tier, like... completely unplayable, but he's definitely in the worst characters in the game, and since he's in the worst characters in the game, I will have to put him in the worst tier in the game. Imani. Now, I love snipers. In every game, I just love me some snipers. Now, unfortunately, she's great on paper, right? Snipers in the back line. Oh, wow, so great. No, not that great. Not that great at all. The only thing she has for her is her damage. Even then, the damage that she has is you have to hit it. You have to hit everything you have. And again, look at her other stats. 0 defense, no mobility. Anyone jumps on you, you get one shot because you have no health, and you can't run away because you have no mobility. It's crazy. It's not the type of game to be fitted for her playstyle, unfortunately. She cannot go up and take objectives. If anyone comes up to her, even if support, she cannot contest it 1v1. It's just, you know, you just don't get there with her. Dude, like C tier. We'll be generous. We'll give her C tier. Moving on to Lord Alistar, as I call him. You can't milk those. All right, he is an offensive tank, kind of a very good frontliner, I would say. Psych, he is not good, dude. You think he's good. His kit looks nice, but then when you play him, he sucks ass, dude. He's never played. He's easy C tier. Easy. Margrave has a special place in my heart. Such a beefy motherfucker, dude. If you play him well, you can do so much work for your entire team. You can carry a 1v9 with this guy. Like, you see this bar that, like, it stops here, right? The only reason why it stops here is because you cannot see the rest of the bar. Really, his defense goes all the way, like, past the screen and onto your second screen because he does not die. It's ridiculous. And for that, he earns S tier. Moving on to the little guy with the quick attack speed, also known as Mozu. His lowest thing is his health, but he has very good mobility. I'm surprised it's this low. It feels a lot higher. You can run away from things pretty fast. Has defense, offense if you play correctly. All that said, offense is kind of all that he has. And yeah, that's just like an A tier, I guess, honestly. He has potential. He's too focused on strength. Oru. Now, this one, you can argue with me all day long. I think most people would put him S tier. I put him gods. I like Oru. He is my favorite character. Now, am I biased? Probably. These stats are not true, okay? He has decent health, decent ability. You can run away from a lot of things, and here's why. His right click is a knockback, and his Q are traps that knock back as well. And then you can also have a stun, depending on if you E your right click, or I like to E the left click for increased damage and armor pen, but his kit is very good, a lot better than his stats. And he has a lot of offense, dude. Your throwing cards have like aimbot. You can miss a little bit, but as long as you initially throw it, even if he like turns the corner, it'll like curve a little bit and go. It sometimes misses, but for most of the time, it just beams him. He's also the only character I have a skin on, so enjoy the view, buckos. All right, moving on to Pakko. I've probably played him. He's in my top 5 most played. Now he has something very enjoyable about him. He goes really fast. He has 2 movement abilities. So whatever this thing says, scratch it, okay? Because what I'm noticing is that these stats are stats of the character, the base character itself. I feel like it doesn't consider that much like the abilities of the character, because this guy has 2 movement abilities. He can not only slow people, you spit the snow, it slows everyone, damages, and you go faster. So on top of you being faster, they're slower. And then you can roll and spin in it depending on which build you went. And yeah, he's pretty good. He can turn you into a snowman if he doesn't like you. If you're doing too much, he'll turn you into a snowman. I don't think he's the best in the world. I'd probably put him at 8. Now we have Gordon over here. Mr. Ramsay. Now, Mr. Ramsay is a pain in my ass. He is apparently the best 1v1 character in the game. Now, when I play him, it doesn't feel like that, but I've gotten wrecked by him multiple times. I think he's that kind of character where you have to play him like a decent amount to actually get a grip on what the fuck is going on and to play him correctly. You are very fast, very, very fast. But if you run out of stamina in the middle of a fight as a frontliner like this, you kind of just start to get rolled. You really got to pay attention to your stamina. This could be said about like 99% of the characters, but I'm just saying him specifically, I've had a hard time being effective with. That being said, he's one of the best in the game. So not because of my personal not great experiences that I'm going to tank his performance. I think he is an S tier character. I just can't play him right. That's my belief. Howdy. Then we have Rutger. Rutger? Rutger? He's not a tank like you'd expect him to be. I think that where Rutger lacks is in mobility, but a little bit in offense, unfortunately. Now, of course, you can't have a character who has high utility, high defense, high offense, high everything, right? So his main things are utility and defense. So it makes sense that mobility and offense tanks. But unfortunately, having mobility and offense as your two lowest stats tends to make you need a good team, basically. If you can play him, be a good frontliner, be useful for your team, borrow when needed when you're about to die and stuff, and go for backline and just distract mostly while your team does most of the damage, then you can actually get something good with them. So he will go at the bottom of S tier. So Uncle Sven, I would say that the reason his utility's through the roof is he can damage, heal, transform, slow, crack armor. He's really just really well rounded, and for that, I will have to put him in the gods category. Honestly, he's a little too powerful and kind of a pain in the ass if played correctly. Move on to T-Mat. Now I can tell you before I even go at the list, this motherfucker is on point. Look at his damage. Just look at it. And then he has decent mobility, so you can never really kind of catch up to him. There isn't much to say. This guy slaps. Tripp, I think people either see Tripp as broken or annoying. And that's kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. Look at our stats. How is this anyway balanced? You know, the defense might be on the floor as well as the utility, but it doesn't really feel that way because you're so fast that yes, you'll get like in the middle of a fight and you'll be hitting everything AoE style multiple times, and your damage is, god damn, the damage is high. I mean, probably the highest damage in the game, like consecutively. If somebody's just not moving, and you have to do the most damage in 2 seconds, dude, this girl has it. Comes in with QQ, auto, right click, E for invisibility, backstab. Dude, you are smoked. She does so much damage. And then she just runs away. Her Q's a slide that can kick up in the air, interrupt. You can run so fast with it, run away. For that reason, I'll put her at S tier. I think that she has a lot of potential, and S tier as well. I'll put her. I think there's arguments to put her in A tier, but so Tito the Swift, I have not played as much as I wish I played him, but god damn is he good. Look at his mobility. Have you ever seen somebody with maxed out mobility? Most ability in the game, and you can tell how fast he is. I think one thing that's really important about him is going for make sure that your E, when you send your little pet rat friend Fang to an enemy, you have to make sure that you're playing this build. At least that's how I like to play him. You E to a target, and then you E again, and it teleports to the pet location and retrieves the pet. You know, although it does stop bleed damage, as you can see, you'll do way more damage being on top of the person and just like having an instant teleport to them. You know, it's very fun. And then you can also, it will also interrupt, which is absolutely insane. Get a teleport and an interrupt. I mean, that's just, how good is that, you know? For me, he's at S tier. I might be a little generous again. He's at S tier, and that might be a little under generous. He could go amongst the gods. Amongst the gods, he can't. But I do think that going right here is pretty fair. I like this. I like this positioning so far. I think it's only fair to put Sven ahead, even though Ori is my favorite. Moving on to Mercy. Mercy in Overwatch. Even though I like her, the only thing she kind of has the heal, and when everybody's full health, doesn't do much. I'll put her at C. She's a little underwhelming, to be honest, and could be much better. The Archer is somewhat S tier. Now, I can't play him. I'd probably even put him A tier, honestly. Dude, he might be an S tier character, but I don't see it, and I don't see people playing with him as an S tier character. He might have the potential for it, but when you're actually in game, people will never play him like an S tier. So we'll put him at A. Okay, that's where I feel like he can go. That's where I feel like people can play him. And I think if you're really crazy and like maybe if you have aimbot, you can like absolutely go nuts, but you're not getting anything out of him. Then we have the Wu. Now, again, when you play Wu, very important. When you go in skills, you need to go for the E reset, okay, in your build. Not only is it pull enemies, it's an interrupt. On hit, you reset the splash kick and crashing wave. So I'll put him at S tier. He could probably go a little more in front, but that's where I'll put him. Now, the one and only Xenobia. You see this utility? Through the roof. She dooms the target area, disables enemy actions and health changes. She also interrupts, hits self. So the thing about Xenobia, although she is broken in my opinion, she can be played poorly, and you could throw the game because she could easily save enemies because she has a way to make enemies only take damage from herself and no longer from the rest of your team. So if all your team is attacking one person, you don't really know what you're doing, and you do that spell, you will literally save that character from dying to your whole team because you're wasting everything on him and he's not taking damage. He's only taking damage from you, but you're a support that mainly uses utility. That's the negative side of her. The rest is all the positive. We don't have time for all the positive. She's too good. S tier, okay? Arguments for God. Argument granted. Broken character. Put her in gods. And we end this with probably one of the most useless characters in the game, Zandora. When I was talking initially about looks like she does a lot but doesn't do much, that's basically her definition. I mean, seriously, she is like C tier, maybe B tier, but then you think about it more, she goes down to D. It doesn't work. D, C, B, C. You know, I'm annoying, but so is she. Not really, because she does nothing. We'll put her at C tier, and that's somewhat generous. There's an argument for D. There's an argument for C. If you put it at A, you're a high. So I had finished the video, but just realized I'm missing 2 characters. So I'm going to do those 2 for you right now. Now, let's start with Kajir. His offense through the roof, right? But nobody plays him. He is not good for some reason. I don't know. He makes duplicates, but it's like, you know. I'd probably put him in B tier. He's not great. I don't know. I mean, I literally like, he could be B, he could be C. I think B's fair. We'll put him at B tier. Then we go Roland. Now, Roland is actually kind of crazy. He's underrated, I would say, because I never see him. But I kind of felt like he was S tier. I've seen some people play him and be really good. But I think, like, although he has, like, the potential to be S tier, he unfortunately kind of falls, like, in the very best of A. And doesn't quite make it to S tier. But he's really good. And I think he's going to be, like, that type of character where some people really like to play him and are really, really good with him. For some people, he might be the best character in the game. No, I just want to thank y'all so much for the support in my last gigantic video. It went probably one of my best, fastest video growth on my channel ever. I love you. I love you. Gigantic community is fucking awesome. You gave me so much support. I got like 130 likes in a day. I usually don't even get that in views. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. I ain't go pussy up and start crying here, but I fucking love y'all, okay? GG's. Thank you for watching.